I don't know how OSHA approved this is. So this was supposed to take me up so I could get to my exercise bike. Okay. So if I really want that bike to work efficiently, I think I'm gonna have to change out and we're working on some new models now that I will try to show you, and we never walked away from my first love of doing things, which is restoring vintage guitars and making them play great. So we still do all kinds of custom work, repair, and then repair and sales. Here you can see we have a little showroom in Oswego, Illinois. We have up high, we have all our old Guitone guitars made in Japan. They were Japan's first electric guitar manufacturer. I got to work with Guitone, and now the engineer from Guitone is one of my best friends, Toshi, and he still is over in Japan, and we're still working on new products together. This is the lesson room, which also doubles as excess storage. It's enough of that room. This is the hallway, which also doubles as excess storage. This is our first production model electric guitar for our DeMont brand. Before this, they were all custom and one-off. This is our DeMont Goldfinch. This actually ended up in Guitar Player magazine one year, and we did pretty well with that. We were going to retire this model, and this was the very first one. Subsequent versions were a little bit better, but people loved it so much we still make them from time to time. This is the prototype for our new guitar pickup. This one's made out of aluminum. We're going to make them out of plastic. And I think we decided to actually mill them on the CNC machine instead of casting them like we were going to. But I was just working on the program for that. You can see it kind of mocks up how we're going to make the program.
Yeah.
And then that'll get a backside also that lines up, and eventually we'll take it across the street and put it on the CNC machine and make it. It's a lot of fun. Awesome. Oh, actually, here's that's a prototype for one of our new pickups too, or at least the case for it. I'm really excited about that one. It's gonna be awesome. So there's tons of tools all over the place. Over to the left is a whole bunch of the wood that we've cut and dried and is being ready to be made into guitars. We have a table saw here. Now it's a little easier to hear. We have all our workbenches across the side here with a whole bunch of guitars we're working on. We also have different versions of our prototypes of new guitars. This is going to be a new Guitone guitar, or at least a prototype we're trying out for it. And you can see some of the other necks and parts we're making. So all this wood we cut locally, and these are in various states of being finished. But you can see spalted maple, walnut, rock maple. All that was cut locally and milled and processed right here. Oh, here's an excellent, this is a new DeMont model, or a new style called the Verb, which we haven't quite finished up yet, but a really nice example of spalted sycamore, which isn't something we usually get, but it looks awesome, so we're making stuff out of it. This is my favorite machine of the shop. It's the 1915 Moac planer. I heard originally it was used in a boat factory, made its way around the U.S., and now it's back in our shop again. It weighs several tons, which I did not account for when we got it. It was very difficult to get in here. But it'll hog through anything. They just don't make machines like that anymore. So that exercise bike, did I say anything about that before? That's one of my experiments. I got all kinds of experiments.
I see if I've got something.
Yeah, I have it turning an alternator, and it charges a battery that spits it out into voltage down here because I wanted to exercise and power my lights at the same time. Turns out I'm so out of shape I can't power enough, so I got to work on that still.
So it turns the nightlight on. So
yeah, yep. So it basically powers the little LCD that says it doesn't have enough power for anything. This is the new DeMont Verb, or at least what we've started of it yet. While this isn't officially ready for sale yet, this is like the 5th one. We're still working out some bugs, but I love it. I really like the shape. I like the design. I like the model. It's going to be more of a functional, affordable guitar. We're shooting for something kind of like less frills, but still really awesome. That you can afford and not have to pay extra just for the extra binding or extra aesthetics. Although I still think it has pretty awesome aesthetics. I like to highlight the natural lumber with these. So each guitar, even though it's the same specs, we use different lumber. So even though all the measurements are the same, the design's the same, our pickups are very microphonic. So they kind of pick up like a microphone, and they tend to pick up the actual vibration of the wood a little bit more. So as we change different types of woods, it actually changes the sound quite drastically. So every one will sound different, which is kind of the opposite way of modern guitars. They wax pot them so heavily that basically you only get the sound of the pickups, which is also good. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I just like that changing the wood more drastically affects the sound of the instrument, and each one is a little bit more unique. This is my second favorite tool of the shop. This is the Toledo high-speed meat saw. So that actually came from a farm where they cut up cows with it. I cleaned a little bit of the cow guts off and retooled it. We made a new table for it, new motor, had the blades made. The thing works fantastic for resawing lumber. We can get a full 22 to 23 inch cut off of that, which is perfect for guitars. And then right behind it, with why we have all this stuff in the way, we just put in a new compressor. Just a lot of tools for this spot. We need some more spots. Mostly use this side, but like we have to run a new sign. Oh, you bought that. Yeah. We got to run a new sign.
That's fine. It was just an empty toolbox.
Oh man, you don't know how much empty toolboxes go for these days. This is mother of pearl from the Fox River. Can you see it shine up really nice in there? So we're going to use that for inlays. So we harvested this right from the Fox River. Just go in there with waders or shorts that become wet. I just like the idea of being able to make as much as we can from nothing. This is the warehouse. It used to be our main workshop, but now it holds our kiln, which you can barely see. There's stuff packed in front of the door, but we dry our lumber there. We actually mill and cut all of our lumber locally. We have a whole bunch in different stages past here on racks. Okay, this was our original dehumidifier for our wood drying. This is a humidifier from a U.S. Army nuclear submarine. We had it created over here on a semi. It was my biggest failure. It ended up being way too overcomplicated for what we needed. But now we have something better set up, and we just had to dispose of this several-ton beast. Oh, you want to see a really cool one I picked up at a show? This probably doesn't need a video, but you can take it if you want. We went to a guitar show this weekend. I got way too many guitars. But this is a 1967, I think it is, Framus from Bavaria. But do you see that sparkle on there?
That's crazy.
It's factory original.
Really?
Yeah, the guy got it from emailed the owner of Framus, and they said they only did it for 1 year. Doesn't it look like someone put Halloween spray glitter on it?
That's crazy.
That's the only reason I needed it. It's got sparkles. Okay, let's see what else we got. That was the very first goldfinch body that we worked on. And then just all kinds of stuff all over the place. Yeah, lots of stuff.
But it was like...
Oh, I think it's behind the door, actually.
Oh, yeah? That one was cool. Let's get some... Oh, God.
Oh.
That was so loud.
What was?
He tapped the microphone with the camera.
This one right here, right?
Yeah, if you can take it off, you're welcome to. He's listening to your own podcast.
Yeah.
Recording it. So you know what questions to ask.
You can do it.
We're so close.
Okay.
Hold this.
You want me to hold it?
Yeah.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Pull it off the thing. It's got a little hook on it. The hook has to come off the hanger. Good job. See, you just needed some encouragement. Okay, check this out. So this is rock maple. This is local rock maple. It was the best looking rock maple I've ever come across. Actually from one of the very first farms in Oswego, just down the road, the Parkhurst farm. one of the first families to settle in the area. We got this awesome tree, and this piece of wood was so great, but it wasn't quite thick enough to make a guitar body out of. So I literally just poured epoxy in there and filled it up. If you look close, you can see the chainsaw marks and mill marks under it. And then on the back, you can see how it actually has some depth because we just flattened it out. Because I didn't want it to go to waste, but I think it's a really nice looking body. That fungus, this is called spalting. The black lines are spalting. It's a fungus that actually eventually kills the tree, but it looks so cool when it does. So
the missing headstock pile.
They just
Yep.
followed Pete Townsend around.
It's
I need to do something with
75%
those.
Gibson vinyl, I guarantee it.
well, if it's
All the broken
if it's
headstocks.
broken, yeah, that's how you know it. That's how we test to make sure it's a real Gibson. The headstock snaps. If 3 out of 4 don't snap, then that wasn't an authentic pile. So it's just a lot of guitar overflow storage. I like guitars. We're working on restoring them and getting them sold, but I like all these. It takes a while to get around to them. So if it's too far gone, we'll sell it for parts or use the parts. But normally I like to take an awesome old guitar, this old Hagstrom, and fix it up and actually make it saleable. Sometimes we need to go to pretty far extent to make it work, but when we have time, that's what I really like to do. I see a lot of old guitars that get thrown away because they need more money into them than they're worth, and I understand that. I totally understand it, but when I have time, I like to really fix those up and make them playable again, and get people playing them and also buying them.